Mic test 1, 2. Mic test 1, 2. Mic test 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Mic test 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 1, 2. You don't mind poking that blue button or the other one?
Mic test
The
1,
pink one.
2.
The pink one? Okay. Mic test 1, 2. Mic test 1, 2. Mic test.
Mic test 1, 2.
Mic test. Mic test 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. Oh, that's right. Mic check. Mic check 1, 2. Mic test 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. Mic test. Mic test 1, 2. Mic test 1. Mic check. Mic test. Mic test.
Mic check, mic check.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's special call meeting of the Board of Trustees of Harlandale ISD. Today is Monday, March 27th, 2023. It is 6:15. I'm calling the meeting to order and I will do roll call of my colleagues present. Ms. Ortiz. Here. Mr. Luna.
Present.
Mr. Moreno.
Present, ma'am.
Mrs. Carrillo. Here. Mrs. Limon. Here. Mr. Mancha.
Present.
And myself, I am here. We do have a quorum. Mr. Soto, would you let us know who is here from cabinet and staff, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, HISD Community. This evening, we have our Assistant Superintendent for Business and Finance, Mr. Richard Hernandez.
Here.
We have our Executive Director of Operations, Dr. Hinojosa.
Here.
We have our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction, Ms. Casey.
Here.
We have our Executive Director of Human Resources, Dr. Salinas.
Here.
And we have our Public Information Officer, Mariana Vieira.
Here. Thank you, Mr. Soto. Welcome, everybody. We also have Dr. Judy Castleberry with us this evening. So Dr. Castleberry, hello.
Thank you.
We are moving on to agenda item 2, that is public comment. Each person must be available to speak when asked or will lose their opportunity to address the board. The 3 maximum per speaker will be allowed. I will not be limiting anybody into speaking. They will do the 3-minute maximum per speaker. Citizens are offered an opportunity to address the board without prior approval. The board president will have the discretion to reduce the time allotment and limit the total number of speakers in order to ensure the meeting is orderly and managed within technology capabilities. Again, there are 18 community members that have signed up for public comment. I have chosen not to limit the time allotment. Everybody will have exactly 3 minutes. The topics addressed shall be limited to those specifically included on the board's agenda. The board will not comment or engage in discussion. Presentations shall be informative only. No board action will be taken. Presentations shall not include statements which may be considered defamatory, inflammatory, and/or threatening against a person or the district. And speakers shall not mention student names unless naming your own child, nor address a complaint against a district employee or officer. Such complaints will be handled through the guidelines set out in the district policy. At all other times, members of the public shall not enter into any discussion or debate on matters being considered by the board. The board shall not tolerate disruption of the meeting by members of the audience. If, after at least 1 warning from the presiding officer, any individual continues to disrupt this meeting by his or her words or actions, the presiding officer may request assistance from law enforcement officials to have the individual removed from the meeting. We are not here to judge one another. We are not here to confront one another. We are here to speak in an open line of communication. We will be respectful of every speaker, of their comment, suggestion, and idea. I expect that from everybody in this room because we are a family. We will respect each other as such. Everyone is entitled to speak, and I mean everyone that signed up for public comment. We will begin with our first community member, Maricruz Martinez. Ms. Martinez. Hello, Ms. Martinez.
Hello.
You'll be the first one to hear my little speech. It's going to be 18 times my little speech. Thank you for signing up for public comment. You have a 3-minute maximum to speak. At exactly 3 minutes, the buzzer on that screen is going to go off and I'm going to cut you off immediately. That is a 3-minute timer. Please use it to guide you along. And we are ready whenever you are, Ms. Martinez.
Thank you. Tonight, we're all coming together respectfully to choose what is best for the future of each student enrolled at HISD and our district as a whole. Our students are listening to, watching, and learning from us. HISD board, I know this is not easy for you, and of course, it is not easy for us. For me, my heart is torn for the schools on the list of possible restructuring. Thinking emotionally, both of the two newly renovated elementary schools are near and dear to my heart. They are both built for elementary school students. I remember working with my union brothers and sisters to have the bond passed for both schools. The promise was it would be for a better future for Carabel and Vesto Elementary. Now, not even 5 years later, we are in threat of restructuring. My siblings and I entered HISD as Spanish-speaking migrant students. I am the oldest of 6. Me, my siblings, our children, and about 80% of our Martinez de los Santos clan were educated at Carabel Elementary. We then went on to Terra Wells and graduated from McCollum High School. As an educator, I have worked all my years of teaching at Vesto Elementary. That is now my home. Thinking logistically, I can only speak on what I see. Restating what I have already shared, Vesto has room for growth with undeveloped land. The district has a long-standing relationship with Avance programs. We have Avance safe and secure classrooms. We have Avance certified personnel. We have Avance playgrounds, equipment, safety, fencing, and recently Avance added extra bulletproof protection to our front doors. Avance is using one of our empty buildings for incoming 6-month to 2-year-olds. We have an empty gym that is able to house an entire coaching staff. The other empty building has 3 classrooms, a science lab, student and adult restrooms, and a library that can be converted into classrooms. We will have more classrooms on the main campus available to accommodate new teachers and students. We have ample parking. If the campus is re-fenced, we can have drop off and pick up in the front and the back. You have been voted in to sit on the board to be our voice and our vote. You have very important life-changing decisions to make. I hope you find value in what I have shared at every meeting we have attended. One thing we know for sure is that we cannot just sit and do nothing thinking things will get better. They will not. We are surrounded by charters that are taking our students. That will not change. Although we do need to be better at recruiting, please think about the future of our district and what is best for the greater good and all those that will be affected. Thank you for your consideration and time, and this too shall pass.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez, for signing up for public comment. Our next community member that has signed up for a public comment, it's Gloria Imean. Educate me on how to pronounce it. Emin. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Emin. Yes, thank you for signing up for public comment. You have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak. There will be a 3-minute timer on the screen to guide you along. And at exactly 3 minutes, I'm going to have to cut you off.
Okay.
We are ready whenever you are, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Good evening. I'm Gloria Emming. 4 alterations within 4 public meetings indicates uncertainties in the foundation of the proposal. The main argument for the district's loss of money is ADA funding. The following are non-campus based positions: 21 administration building, 4 superintendent, 55 curriculum and instruction with 2 vacant positions, 51 finance, 30 human resources. Per TEA in 2014-2015, we received over $6,000 state revenue per student. 2020-2022, we received over $8,000 revenue per student each year. 2022-2023, we received over $7,000 revenue per student. Morrill has a B rating in school progress of 91 of 100. Morrill has a 93% campus attendance rate, 365 current student enrollment. As of 3/24/23, we received 10 more student enrollments despite the proposal. We are currently over half of capacity at Morrill. The difference of full capacity of Morrill and a neighboring school is 297 students, which is less than half of full capacity of a single Harlandale elementary school. Moral's ADA is contributed by students who come from out of district. Moral is placed on the northern part of our District 1 region, which no other elementary school is. Teachers earned their raise, yet here we are advocating for our students yet again. To break up and disperse a community of faculty and staff who are committed and earned the high ratings which reflect that we are educating our future generations to be critical thinkers, to evolve into productive persons in society is opinion-based. Moral has the facts to stand as reason to remain open as is. Each individual employee from Moral must not be forced to take their pedagogy to another campus in HISD or another district as if they will have the exact support prior. Every effective educator knows that valuable education occurs with team effort and trust takes time to build. And that is where we will fail if Moral is repurposed. Moral Elementary must remain open as is, as a facility dedicated to teaching our youth. Moral is a team. Look at the data, look at the statistics. Seek a productive solution such as bond money to update our facility to increase enrollment. Something other than this reactive solution of closing and repurposing Moral. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Deming, for signing up for public comment. Our next community member is Kimberly Machado. Ms. Machado? Hello, Ms. Machado.
Hello.
Thank you for signing up for public comment. You have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak. The timer is on the screen to guide you along. At exactly 3 minutes, I'm going to have to cut you off once that buzzer goes off. And we are ready whenever you are, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Kimberly Machado, and I am a union member and a teacher at Rayburn Elementary. Sorry. Education has been my passion for 19 years, and I love teaching my students the importance of learning to read, do math, and to believe that they can achieve anything that they want to be. I stand before you with so many emotions running through me. For the past month, I've experienced everything from joy, sadness, hopefulness, worry, etc., and every other emotion from one end of the spectrum to the other. Ever since I have heard that the school I work for was going to be repurposed, I have prayed for a miracle every day. I have hoped with all my heart that the family I work with, that the kids I have come to love like my own, would somehow be allowed to continue their education at Rayburn. Sadly, I have come to realize that the closing of our doors is going to happen. I had originally come to ask Mr. Soto to consider seniority and certification when deciding teacher choices and placements. However, upon arrival, I learned that Mr. Soto has already decided that this will be the case. So in closing, I would just like to say thank you. Thank you for honoring our hard work and our dedication during this difficult time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Machado, for signing up for public comment. Next community member that signed up is Ms. JoBeth Buffalo. Ms. Buffalo? Okay. Hi, Ms. Buffalo.
Hello.
Thank you for signing up for public comment. My speech is going to be 18 times. So you have 3 minutes maximum to speak. The buzzer will go off at 3 minutes. I will have to cut you off at 3 minutes. The timer's on the screen to help guide you along, and we are ready whenever you are, ma'am.
Good evening, board members and Mr. Soto. As a parent and alumni of the Harlandale Independent School District, I find this situation at hand to be alarming. HISD had to use $12 million out of the savings account to fund the rest of this year. $12 million. How was HISD so ill prepared for this when the district knew we had been losing students since 2018? How can you wait until now, testing time, end of the year time, to present such a factor to staff and parents? I have yet to see any projected savings information in the presentation provided to the community. What is the reality? What will the savings be? If what I have been told is correct, we will only need 3 million out of the savings next year. So easy math. We had 50 million in savings, took out 12 million. That leaves us 38. If we only use 3, that leaves us 35. So we should have enough money to keep us solvent for what, 11 years? We need a plan, a real plan, a proactive plan, a plan that will sustain us for the future, not a reactionary plan. If the district has a plan other than closing 5 schools, they have not presented it to the public. Will closing 5 schools eliminate us from dipping into our savings in the future? Why are we not cutting costs? We have about 170 people working in central office. What staff really needed? What are our other options? Why are we redoing the stadium at the rate of losing children? We don't need a stadium. It was stated in the last meeting that we have spent 17 million renovating the stadium, with 9 million of that being bond money. Where did the other 8 million come from? Your vote should take into account our rich history that began at San Jose Mission in 1888. You see, education was valued as important, and they found a way to persevere. Your first priority should be the education of our children. I ask all board members to delay your decision until you have looked at all the facts, including other options. Why rush to make a decision now? Your most important job is to educate our children in a suitable environment, not only to relocate them so that the district can repurpose a building. It is important that we take into account what these closures will do to our students and their emotional wellness. Will uprooting these students and placing them at schools that they are not familiar with cause trauma? Yes, it will. This vote can affect them adversely and cause great emotional stress. If you vote today to close the schools, you have not only failed to be a good steward of our finances, but you have also failed our students and the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Buffalo, for signing up for public comment. Next community member that signed up is Christine Garza. Ms. Garza? Hello, Ms. Garza.
Hi.
Thank you for signing up for public comment. You have 3 minutes maximum to speak. The timer is on the screen to guide you along, and exactly at 3 minutes, when that buzzer goes off, I will have to interrupt you. Thank you for signing up for public comment, and we're ready whenever you are.
Thank you. Good evening, Superintendent Soto, cabinet members, Board President Cavazos, board members, and the Harlandale community. My name is Christine Garza, and I am a longtime educator in the Harlandale district. I know the decision to repurpose schools must be difficult. However, I am thankful that the district is taking steps so we can find a path towards financial stability. I am grateful our district is actively trying to save jobs and protect the Harlandale staff and students. To delay this decision is not in our best interest, and I know it is tough, but it must be done. During this transition, there is no doubt school communities will be displaced. That is a painful thing we will go through. Yet we are family and we will get through this together. As a Vestal teacher, I am not wearing a Vestal t-shirt tonight. I love my Vestal community. I am wearing a Harlandale shirt tonight because if my school is repurposed, I trust my Eagle family will be welcomed with open arms at our sister schools. If Carol Bell is repurposed, we will embrace the Cowboy community as our own. Lastly, I want to say, seeing this political engagement from our community has been very encouraging, but I challenge us We need to take this momentum and take this fight to Austin where it belongs. We as a community, we need to ensure we are voting, that we call our legislators and tell them to properly fund us. We need to make sure we are
Ms. Garza, can
registering
you
to
can you
vote.
address the board, please? Thank you.
We need to say loud and clear, we are not for vouchers. We need to say loud and clear that a strong public school education is vital to a healthy society. We have a voice, we have power, let us use it. Thank you, and long live Harlandale.
Thank you, Ms. Garza, for signing up for public comment. Our next community member is Susan Salinas. Ms. Salinas? Hello, Ms. Salinas.
Hello.
Thank you for signing up for public comment. You have 3 minutes maximum to speak. Timer is on the screen to guide you along. As soon as that buzzer goes off, I will have to interrupt you from speaking. We are ready whenever you are, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, President Cavazos, members of the board, Superintendent Soto, and the community. I am Susan Salinas with TSA staff speaking tonight on the repurposing of the schools. The option to repurpose schools is not an easy decision for the community, the students, or the employees. The district reassures us that everyone has a job and no one's pay will be lowered is a guarantee that other districts who are closing schools is not offering their employees. During my meeting today with Superintendent Soto, I am glad to report that transfers for professionals will be based on seniority and certification. Also, our classified and paraprofessional employees will have the opportunity to put in a choice for transfer too. Transfers will be granted in most cases, but sometimes based on the needs of the students and the campuses, some transfers might not be as what we would prefer. Also, it is my understanding that before employees are asked to submit their transfer requests, administrative changes will occur first. This will allow those seeking a transfer to follow their current administrator or to make a different choice. One issue the community needs to be aware of is why and how the TEA conservator was assigned in 2018. TEA investigated Harlandale over concerns and accusations of wrongdoing. Those people are no longer in the district. Also, Harlandale received a B rating from TEA, which is better than a lot of neighboring school districts. So why does Harlandale still have a TEA conservator? On May 26th, during the 2022, during a school board meeting, union members spoke up for pay raises. The conservator informed the board, quote, "You've heard lots of comments tonight. Please don't feel pressure to respond to input that may put you in an uncomfortable situation. Believe this statement blatantly disregarded employees who are advocating for better working conditions. Our concerns should not be ignored, nor any community member who voices a concern. The board should hear from its constituents. This is a democracy where everyone should vote to make their voices heard." Do you know that Harlandale uses tax dollar monies to pay for the conservator? How much? Why are mainly Hispanic and African-American school districts targeted by TEA? South San, Edgewood, Harlandale, now Houston. Northside and Northeast have same issues, but why are conservators only in those districts? We ask you to contact Mike Marath, the Commissioner of Education, and ask the conservator be pulled from Harlandale. It is no longer needed. This school board works a lot better than previous school boards. Thank you for your time and efforts.
Thank you, Ms. Salinas, for signing up for public comment. Next community member is Dolores Villarreal. Ms. Villarreal? Hi, Ms. Villarreal. As a friendly reminder, you have 3 minutes to speak. The timer is on the screen. At exactly 3 minutes, that buzzer is going to go off and I will have to interrupt your speaking. I thank you for signing up for public comment, ma'am, and we are ready whenever you are.
Good evening. Harlandale ISD is going through many changes that will affect many lives. I do not believe we're addressing what the real problem is. Why are we here today? We hear there are not many kids within our district. Then how are the sheriffs like area full of students at all grade levels? Why are the sheriffs taking our students so easily? From what I have seen, sheriffs are everywhere, recruiting all year long at the pizza places, flea markets, parks, and other places where families gather. They promise great things and roll out the red carpet for parents to choose their charter schools. They promise their child will go to college, but as we all know, as soon as they walk on that child and they realize the child has learning disabilities or behavior issues, they kick them out and tell them go back to the public schools. Public schools never turn any student away. It's our job in education to educate all students. Harlandale ISD needs to do better at recruiting all year round, from pre-K to 12th grade. We need better recruitment plans. It is okay to put our commercials and information on radio stations, but IDEA is going directly to recruit in person. They were just in Besto last week. The registration is very easy and welcoming. As soon as any person starts putting the information in their system, even if they do not finish, IDEA will be knocking on the door immediately after. I have heard in these town hall meetings that this has been a problem that has been around for years now. Why has nothing changed to try to keep us from where we are right now? If we close schools when those new recruited students come to our already full campus, what is the Harlandale ISD going to do? Tell them, you're gonna be on the waiting list? There's no room for you? Many parents have been told this recently, even during these times when we're looking for students to register in our district. That's why I'm asking to keep Besto open. It has more possibilities for improvement and growth. We cannot keep doing the same thing day in and day out, expecting different outcomes. Recruit and tell families as early as possible they have a spot in our district. Open enrollment for pre-K3 year-round, welcome teachers' children without charging them. Teachers and their children will stay in our district if both are welcome. Work on better frontline customer service when families are trying to register in our district. We need to change to survive. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Villarreal, for signing up for public comment. Next community member is Juan Cristan. Mr. Cristan? Hello, sir. Thank you for signing up for public comment. As a friendly reminder, you have 3 minutes maximum to speak. The timer is on the screen for your easy guidance. At exactly 3 minutes, if you're not done speaking, I will have no choice but to interrupt you. Thank you for signing up for public comment, and we are ready whenever you are.
Nomás quiero representar, somos de la organización de CAPS Metro, líderes de CAPS Metro y de Nuestra Señora de Los Ángeles, representando a los padres de familia de las escuelas que están a nuestro alrededor. Juan va a compartir algo, pero yo también tengo mi tiempo. Mi pregunta principalmente para todos ustedes.
Permítame un segundo, por favor. ¿Cuál es su nombre?
Norma Quiñones. Estoy apuntada también.
Sí, señora Quiñones o señorita Quiñones, usted puede dirigir la conversación, pero hasta que yo no le hable su nombre. Ahorita es el tiempo del señor Cristán. Hay 1, 2, 3 personas en la comunidad antes de usted y luego usted puede entrar en la conversación.
¿Está muy bien?
Ok.
Pásale, Juan.
¿Y es Cristán?
Yes, ma'am.
Ok.
All right.
Ok.
Thanks, board. Thanks for the opportunity to speak here. My name is Juan Cristan. I'm a parishioner of Our Lady of the Angels Catholic Church. We also have, I'm also been a member of COPS and had a meeting. I want to thank the two board members that were at a meeting. First time that we heard. Well, one of the issues I want to talk about is I'd like to see more transparency from the board. You know, we've had this issue for the last 11 years of declining enrollment, and 11 years later, we find out that there's a $12 million deficit, and we're going to repurpose schools. So I'd like to see more transparency over that. We haven't heard anything what the future holds. It's last week's Zoom meeting said, well, we're going to lose enrollment projected up to 2031. What are we going to do to stop the hemorrhaging? What are we going to do to have the students go to KIPP, to IDEA, to Royal? Matter of fact, the day of last week's Zoom meeting, there was a mailer sent out to every home in the district, and I'm sure you all saw it, and from Royal, and they were out recruiting K through 6 grades. And they said they offer robotics, they said they offered art, they said they offered music, and they offered dance. I know for a fact that not every elementary within the district offers all those four. And when you talk to a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and 8-year-old, and you ask them, hey, you want to go to Royal? No, I want to stay with my friends. I said, yeah, but do they have robotics at your school? No. Do they have art? No. Do they have music? Well, yes. How about dance? No. Well, wouldn't you like to go there? Yes. So what are we going to do as a district to stop that hemorrhaging? What are we going to do? I got 37 seconds left. I have a letter signed by Cobb's Metro from the deanery asking that the superintendent and the TA conservatorship meet with the deanery, with Cobb's Metro, to plan a future for the school district, or at least have a voice of what's going to go on. I wish the board would accept this letter, and thank you for this opportunity. And my fellow committee members are behind me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cristan, for signing up for public comment. Next community member is Isaiah. Is it Banta? Mr. Banta?
I'd like to yield my time to the next Cost Metro leader. Thank you.
I don't think it works like that, not in our board policy.
They're signed up. Who's the next leader?
So you will not be speaking? I just skip you?
So we can't yield it to the next member?
No, it's
Okay.
3 minutes maximum per speaker.
Would you like us to give you a copy of this letter right now or after?
You can give it to our board secretary, please. So just to be clear, Mr. Banta will not be speaking, correct?
No, I'll wait for the next Cost Metro leader.
Next community member that signed up is Deandra Diaz, Ms. Diaz. Hi, Ms. Diaz.
Hello.
Thank you for signing up for public comment. You have 3 minutes maximum to speak. 3-minute timer is on the screen for your easy guidance. At exactly 3 minutes, when that buzzer goes off, I will interrupt you and tell you your time is up. Thank you again for signing up for public comment. And ma'am, we are ready whenever you are.
Thank you. Excuse me, I just jotted some stuff down. My name is Deandra Diaz. I'm a Harlandale alumni from the class of 98. I am a parent of a Harlandale Middle School graduate and current sophomore here at Harlandale STEM Early College High School. I'm here today to speak in favor of repurposing and restructuring our schools.
Some here today may feel that I have no interest in this vote this evening because I don't reside in the district and didn't pay any taxes for the bonds that were passed, but they are wrong. I actually have an obligation to take this opportunity to speak for my son and all the Harlandale ISD family. I constantly challenge my children, my family, and myself to make educated decisions just as I was taught in school. I collect data, research, and analyze, and I have them do the same, especially when making life-changing decisions such as this. Recently, last week, in fact, my son, along with his dedicated and passionate GT sponsor, Mr. Hernandez, created an esports chapter here at STEM. He weighed the data and facts on how hard creating something like this, as difficult as this would be, and applying for grants, pleading for bonds for buildings, and he decided that he felt that being a part of a legacy that would help his future STEM students and alumni far outweighed his feelings of being tired and breaking into his gaming time and not having the ability to make a difference was the most important thing he decided. As board members, you are here and you have chosen to make educated, logical, and reasonable decisions in the best interest of our children and staff. These decisions must be based on these principles above: logic, data research, and reason. Information and data such as low enrollment numbers, staff shortages due to better opportunities and support, and the ability to stretch our bond dollars for other needs by repurposing and restructuring our current low enrollment schools is the best decision to make. The final draft review of this vote, like any other professional instrument, should be carefully weighed, not taken lightly or without empathy to the opposition. But ultimately, the decision made by this vote, by you people tonight, should be made without personal feelings of nostalgia weighing in on the important decision. Data and stats and statistics show the numbers, but also show the opportunity that repurposing some
Ms.
of the.
Diaz, that is your 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for signing up for public comments. Our next community member is Angelica Reyes. Ms. Reyes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, señora Reyes o señorita Reyes. Tiene 3 minutos máximo para estar en la conversación. Ahí se ven los 3 minutos en la pantalla para que si usted use de guía. Exactamente a los 3 minutos voy a tener que interrumpirla y pararla de la conversación.
Sí, está muy bien.
Estamos listas cuando usted esté lista y gracias por estar aquí con nosotros esta noche.
Is there someone from the district that can translate for her?
Bueno, vuelvo a decirles buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Angélica
Permíteme un
Reyes.
segundo. Perdón.
¿Ya?
Sí, ya estamos listos.
Bueno, me vuelvo a presentar, Angélica Reyes. Soy del distrito, madre de familia del distrito. Soy miembro de la parroquia Nuestra Señora de Los Ángeles.
She is a mother of the district and also a member of the church.
Y líder de COPS Metro. Y yo como madre de familia de habla español, ahorita que llegué me entristeció ver esto, que no está traducido al español, que las instrucciones se hayan dado solamente en inglés, hasta ahorita que la señorita me hizo favor de decirme que tengo 3 minutos y que no debo de pasar.
She was very upset that she saw the agenda that is not translated, that it's only in English, and that she didn't get any instructions in Spanish just till now.
Bueno, yo a lo que vengo a representar es a las madres de familias de mi parroquia que tienen a sus hijos con necesidades especiales.
She comes to represent the community from her church, parents who have students with special needs.
Si para mí como madre de familia es difícil aceptar
que mis hijos van a tener otra vez un cambio drástico de cambiar de escuela. Ellas como madres de familia con niños especiales, ellas están frustradas. ¿El por qué? El porque no saben si en aquella escuela vaya a haber todo lo que sus hijos necesitan.
She knows that it's very hard for them to adapt to the change because they're not sure if they're going to have all of the necessities and all of the resources that they have at the schools for the kids with special needs.
Y no tan solo si los maestros, las maestras están capacitadas para atender a sus hijos, sino que también el de que sus hijos, cómo se van a adaptar a la nueva escuela, a la nueva maestra, si para los de nosotros es difícil. Imagínense un poquito para esos niños que ellos no entienden lo que está pasando en nuestro distrito y las necesidades que él tiene.
Not only for teachers and to see if teachers are prepared to help with these kids, but also to understand that if it's hard enough for students that don't have special needs, it must be very difficult for kids with special needs to adapt to this new change.
Y vuelvo a decirles y a suplicarles, porque yo sé que ustedes pueden, todos y cada uno de ustedes, así de igual manera me podrían decir a mí, pero ustedes también tienen el derecho, como nosotros obligaciones también, entiendo, pero de que se nos dé información en español.
I come to ask that you please give us information in Spanish because we deserve the right to know in our own language.
Y también de igual manera les pido a cada uno de ustedes que espero en Dios que no tengan hijos con necesidades especiales porque es duro, que ni yo los tengo, pero al ver la frustración de los madres les pido que pongamos en cuenta el no estar cambiando a nuestros niños porque es un trauma psicológico.
And I ask that you please keep in mind these parents of children that have special needs. Can I finish?
Señora Reyes, 3 minutos para hablar, ya se le concluyó.
Gracias por su atención.
Gracias por venir esta noche, le agradecemos mucho. Señorita Quiñones, ahora sigue usted. Gracias por entender.
Sí.
3 minutos máximo para conversar con nosotros.
Ajá.
Ahí tienen la pantalla los 3 minutos para que usted se pueda guiar. Le agradezco que esté aquí con nosotros esta noche y que haya querido estar en la conversación. Estamos listos cuando usted esté lista.
Gracias, como dijo ella, mi nombre es Norma Quiñones, estoy representando como líder de CAPS Metro y de Nuestra Señora de Los Ángeles y padres de familia de la escuela de Harlandale de nuestro distrito.
She's here as a community member, a part of the church, and also part of CUPS Metro, and as a parent of Harlandale ISD.
Yo sé que hay una situación económica por la información que se nos ha dicho.
She knows that there is a situation, economic situation for everything that they've been telling her.
Pero mi pregunta es, ¿tomaron en cuenta nosotros como padres de familia y de qué manera para esta información?
But my question is, did you consider us as parents of the community, and in what way did you consider us?
¿Me pueden decir correos electrónicos o textos en nuestros celulares? Ya que yo como líder de CAPS Metro y de la comunidad de la parroquia de Los Ángeles, muchos padres me han comentado sus inquietudes de cómo se ha llegado este acuerdo y a qué se debe la deuda de los 12 millones.
As a member of the community and as a member of CUPS Metro and the church, I have received a lot of complaints and concerns from the community about how this decision came about and about the $12 million deficit.
Así como se nos tomó en cuenta para la votación del año pasado del bono de Harlandale que se hizo, fuimos la razón de que se aprobara ese bono por 11 votos. Ya que ha sido difícil para nosotros la comunicación con ustedes en habla español y nos gustaría que se nos tome en cuenta a la comunidad, como les hemos comentado a ustedes. Nosotros estamos dispuestos a ser voluntarios a entregar volantes de encuestas o de información como padres de familia.
They would like to be considered just like they were considered for the bond votes. They are willing to help us out and spread out the word to the community, but they would like to be considered in their language.
Es todo y gracias por escucharme.
Señorita Quiñones, muchas gracias por estar esta noche aquí con nosotros. Next community member that signed up for public comment is Daniela Alonso. Ms. Alonso.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Le voy a repetir lo que le he dicho a todos. Tiene 3 minutos máximo para conversar. En la pantalla tiene los 3 minutos. Exactamente a los 3 minutos voy a tener que interrumpirla. Bienvenida y gracias por estar aquí con nosotros esta noche.
Gracias. Bueno, mi nombre es Daniela. Soy líder de CAPS Metro y pertenezco también a la parroquia de Nuestra Señora de los Ángeles, Iglesia Católica. Y estoy aquí para decirles cuántas familias tendrán dificultades, aún las que ya las tienen. Para apoyar una escuela, económicamente otro tipo de ayuda se toma tiempo, pero para cerrarla, ¿cuánto tiempo se necesita? Una decisión, un mes, una semana, un día. ¿Nuestros estudiantes están preparados? ¿Las familias están preparadas? ¿La mente de estos pequeños están listos para esos cambios bruscos? Hoy tienes estos amigos, mañana otros. Hoy tienes este maestro, mañana otro. ¿Cuántos estudiantes? ¿Cuántas separaciones? ¿Cuánto sufrimiento y cuánta confusión? Me gustaría que le preguntaran a esos niños que si quieren ir a otra escuela, donde está todo desconocido, ¿cuál sería la respuesta de estos niños? Gracias. Es todo.
Señorita Alonso, le agradezco estar aquí esta noche. Bienvenida. Muchas gracias. Next community member that has signed up for public comment is Ms. Natalie Clifford. Ms. Clifford. Hi, Ms. Clifford.
Good
You have
evening.
3 minutes maximum to speak. Timers on the screen for your guidance. At exactly 3 minutes when that buzzer goes off, I will have to interrupt your speaking. Thank you for signing up for public comment. We are ready whenever you are, ma'am.
Good evening, Superintendent Soto, Board President Cavazos, Cabinet members, board members, and Harlandale ISD community. Buenas noches a todos. Gracias por estar acá. Es muy importante que estemos involucrados en nuestra comunidad. My name is Natalie Clifford, and I serve as the president of the Harlandale Education Association, the union representing a large number of workers across the district at every campus and in every department. Soy la presidente de la unión de educadores aquí en el distrito, representando muchas personas. Y también soy maestra bilingüe en McCollum High School. I'm speaking tonight to urge the board and district leadership to partner actively with our dual language teachers, staff, and families in order to come up with creative solutions to ensure our dual language programs can continue, grow, and excel. We all know that children thrive when they are celebrated for who they are, when they see themselves reflected in their histories and curriculum that they are learning in school. This is one of the strengths of dual language programs, where emergent bilingual and Latino youth, like those in our district, are part of a learning environment where their home language, culture, and identities are affirmed. Que queremos que podríamos decir una manera en que los maestros bilingües y el distrito desarrollen más nivel de apoyo, porque es muy importante que cada estudiante se sienta celebrado por su cultura y su idioma, especially given the potential repurposing of Columbia Heights Elementary School, where so many excellent dual language teachers have been working the past 2 years. The work of dual language teachers, just like those of our students, involves double the labor since they have to spend a lot of time translating or updating materials to make them accessible in Spanish. We advocate that the district utilize the wisdom, knowledge, and expertise of our dual language teachers to strategize on how to move forward and solidify resources for these programs in order to benefit our students, families, and keep these highly qualified staff in our school district. Additionally, we appreciate that classified and hourly staff will now have the opportunity to express preferences for transfer in addition to teaching staff. Thank you to the district leadership for now processing transfer requests based on seniority and certification rather than on the time they are submitted. The employees who have served our district for years deserve to have priority in their transfer requests, and we appreciate your consideration of these concerns. Lastly, we want to emphasize to the public the role of state officials in impacting funding in our school district. Queremos que todo el público sepa que el liderazgo del estado de Texas tenga mucho poder e influir en nuestro distrito, especialmente en el dinero. As I spoke about last week, there is a bill such as Senate Bill 8, which is endangering the funds that come to our public schools by incentivizing private and charter schools. Please call your state senators to tell them to vote no, que esta legislación se causa peligro a nuestro distrito por el dinero. And at the end, I'll close by saying our students are the heart of what we do. And I'm so proud that so many people are speaking here tonight. Gracias por su tiempo.
Thank you, Ms. Clifford, for signing up for public comment. Next community member is Amanda Freeman. Ms. Freeman? Hello, Ms. Freeman.
Hi.
Thank you for signing up for public comment. You have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak. 3 minutes are on the screen as to guide you along. At 3 minutes, the timer will go off and I will have to interrupt your speaking at that time. Thank you again for signing up for public comment, ma'am, and we are ready whenever you are.
Thank you, Madam President and school board members. My name is Amanda Freeman, and I am a 1997 graduate of Harlandale High School. I, like so many who reside in the district, are part of the Harlandale legacy. Behind me is a small fraction of the Harlandale community. We voted you on the board to be our voice, to listen to our concerns, and be transparent. Transparency is one thing lacking in the district. One of the core beliefs of the district is a positive, safe climate. Environment is the responsibility of the entire community and crucial to student success. That does not mean only parents who have children currently attending schools, but everyone who lives and or works in the district. During the town hall meetings, nothing was said about how closing and repurposing the schools will save the district money. Oh, sorry, I'm nervous. If anything, it will increase spending. Is the district prepared to possibly lose more children to other districts, charter schools, or being homeschools if you decide to close any of the elementary schools that mean so much to the community? My answer would be no. What's yours? What other ways has the superintendent and his administration looked at to curb the $12 million deficit? Is 5 million owed in property taxes of the 12 million deficit? Or what other ways has the district received community input on the potential school closures and repurposing other than the QR code? Since according to the 2020-2021 district improvement plan, it showed that 50% of the community does not have access to devices or internet. I'll close with this. When the governor tells state agencies that we must cut our budgets by 2 to 5%, our leadership does not close our offices. They are not the first things to be cut, nor our positions. If that, we look at other ways to curb spending. If that doesn't work, we look at our vendor contracts, then possibly a RIF for positions that have been vacant. Please keep in mind that if you decide to close the elementary schools, the district will still have a $12 million deficit. Please delay the vote until you have vetted every option or choose not to close or repurpose any of these schools. Our children, parents, teachers, and community deserves better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Freeman, for signing up for public comment tonight. Our next community member is Mr. Albert Luna. Mr. Luna? Mr. Luna, thank you for signing up for public comment. As a friendly reminder, you have 3 minutes maximum to speak. Timer is on the screen for your easy guidance and reference, and exactly at 3 minutes, when that buzzer goes off, I will have to interrupt you speaking. We are ready whenever you are, sir.
Thank you. I would like to start with the people are pointing fingers at our superintendent, Ms. Castleberry, the school board, and you guys are not at fault. You're doing what's best for the district. We're doing what has to be done. I'm on my family, four generations from Columbia Heights, 1 generation at Morrow Elementary. If I want anybody saved, is those 2 schools. They've been tremendous schools to my children and everything else. And I would hate to repurpose those schools, but common sense tells us which way we have to go. We cannot go with a popular vote of today. We have to go with the best decision of the district. I mean, nobody has come out with another solution other than the best solution that the district has given us with data and information. Nobody has come up with any other solution. What better solution do we have? At the end of the day, our kids are going to graduate from Harlandale High School or McCollum High School. That's the memory of our children right there. At the end of the day, everybody's going to be proud to be an Indian or cowboy. I've had children that I've gone to a couple of elementary schools as a child myself. My memories are high school, some middle school, but high school is where your memories are built. And I know some people are angry or upset, but we all get angry, upset at one time or another when we have to make decisions that we don't want to make. At the end of the day, it's what's best for the district. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Luna, for signing up for public comment. Next community member is Ms. Esmeralda Campos. Ms. Campos? Hello, Ms. Campos. Thank you for signing up for public comment. You have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak. Timer is on the screen for your easy guidance and reference. Exactly at 3 minutes, when that buzzer goes off, I will have to interrupt your speaking. Again, thank you for signing up for public comment, and we are ready whenever you are, ma'am.
Harlandale ISD has been around for more than 100 years. In order for the district to survive as long as it has, there have had to be many necessary changes throughout its history. Superintendents and board members like you see here today have had to make many gut-wrenching decisions, knowing that the community like those present today would be against them. No one is really winning here. The board members, much like ourselves, reside in the community. They have ties to the schools in question today. Their children, extended families, even themselves have walked the halls of these schools. We vote them into office to make the hard decisions that we ourselves know we could never bring ourselves to make. As a parent of children who attend Rayburn Elementary, of children who are 4th generation in this district, of course, it's a hard sting and heartbreaking to lose what we're used to, but the consolidation is necessary. I would rather lose a few schools and see my beloved Rayburn teachers and other school personnel lose their jobs next year. Community, open your minds and see the bigger picture. Guide yourself with facts and not emotions. Realize that general funds and bond money are not one and the same. These schools are simply brick and mortar buildings. Your memories do not have to end there. Your children will create memories anywhere they go. Community, put your concerns and passions into what comes next. Our children will be okay. They are resilient. This is one of many changes they will face in their lifetime. Guide them, reassure them, because everything will be okay. Superintendent Soto, ladies and gentlemen of the board, don't let emotions steer you from what needs to be done. Stick to the facts, stay the course, consolidate and restructure Harlandale ISD.
Thank you, Ms. Campos, for signing up for public comment. Our last community member of the evening signed up for public comment is Ms. Julie Gimbel. Ms. Gimbel? Hello, Ms. Kimball. Thank you for signing up for public comment. As a friendly reminder, you have 3 minutes maximum to speak. 3-minute timer is on the screen for your reference and using guidance. We are ready whenever you are. I will interrupt you if that buzzer goes off and you're not done speaking. Thank you, Ms. Kimball.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Superintendent Soto, and Cabinet. I'm a graduate from Harlandale High School. My children graduated from this district, and my grandchildren are now attending our schools. I know you have a difficult decision to make this evening, and at no fault of your own. Shame on those candidates who are running and saying, if they were in your shoes, we wouldn't be closing any campuses. They are taking advantage of board races that are happening now. Shame on them, because all they are after is a vote. What our community needs to understand is that we are not the only district going through closing campuses. This is a nation problem. There are teachers leaving the profession, and birth rate is low. We are having to share our students with charter schools, so there's a decline in enrollment in ISDs, the true public schools. Tonight, as much as it hurts, you have a fiducial responsibility to vote on repurposing 5 campuses. Many of us not have jobs next year, and there will be classrooms without teachers. We have 50+ classrooms this school year with no teachers. Our students deserve the best, and that's a classroom teacher. I've been in this district for almost 30 years. I started at Harlandale Middle School, went to Schultz, Tara Wells Middle School, Vestal, Frank Tejeda, Gillette, and now Adams. All at each campus, I formed new friendships and friends who I'm very close to with today. I'm not going to lie, each time I left a campus, I was afraid, but each campus welcomed me. Harlandale is a family, and we take care of one another. Our students are resilient, and I know our sister schools will welcome each family and each employee. We are 14 square miles. We love our children. We wouldn't be here or do what we do if we didn't. In order for Harlandale to survive, we have to consolidate our resources and be better. Our students will have more choices to clubs. Being a board member, you sometimes have to make tough decisions, especially when you don't have control of the birth rate and charter schools. But you can ensure we all have jobs and ensure that our students have a classroom teacher. The message is this to our community: vote for people up in Austin who are going to do right by public schools. Vote. They have to vote against vouchers because they are killing our ISDs. So tonight, please make the right decision. Thank you.
Ms. Kimball. Thank you, Ms. Kimball, for signing up for public comment. I want to thank everybody who's here tonight and who has been here the last weeks. I'm going to move to agenda item 3 for a motion, a second, and we'll open it for discussion. Do I have a motion on the table? Mr. Moreno?
Yes, ma'am. I'll go ahead and make a motion. I'm going to go ahead and move to discuss and approve option B as presented by the superintendent.
I will second that motion and open it up for discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Thank you, Mr. Mancha.
Ms. Mariana, would you come up and translate the discussion that the board is going to have?
Thank you, Ms. Mariana. Mr. Moreno, did you want to open the discussion since it was your motion, or Mr. Mancha, since it was his second on that?
No, it's okay. And I know this should take the time that we have here. So as soon as you guys are ready, I can go ahead and start. I did prepare a statement to justify and to share what I'm thinking.
And just so that we are clear, although we always have 3 minutes to speak, and we know the board, if you request for an additional minute, I will grant it. That goes without saying tonight. Just like I did not limit our community members from speaking, I will not limit our board members either. You are welcome to say what you needed to say or what you wanted to say, Mr. Moreno.
Sure. Thank you. So
Just remember to request the additional minute.
I will request just in case, but it shouldn't take
Thank you,
more than
sir.
that time. So if I may I request that additional time, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start, guys. Harlandale ISD represents many things to our team of 8. As it relates to me specifically, it is based on my experiences as a student, teacher, administrator, and board member. I cherish the experiences that have been afforded to me in being a product of this proud Harlandale community. This community has instilled in me the passion to advocate for equity, opportunities, and success for our students. Equity in providing quality education and resources to all our students. Opportunities to give our students access to programs of study that will make them college, career, and military ready. Success in their futures where they will be able to compete with learners from a diverse global job market. As a team of 8 and also as a community members, our focus and decision-making is centered on student success and student outcomes. With that great responsibility comes many honest and difficult conversations that must be had in order to offer our kids an education that they deserve. As a collective community, we are tasked with tough decisions on a daily basis in our own personal and professional lives, with the prospect of repurposing schools falling into that category. It is at no fault of Harlandale or its community. The new normal of education has influenced the needs of all communities and altered the realities of how ISDs have and will be continuously impacted. This team of 8 has made conscious efforts in attempting to curb this issue before it became too glaring to overlook. We can make efforts to blame a myriad of factors. However, Harlandale ISD is not a community of problems. Rather, we are a community of solutions. Reflecting personally in all this great district, Harlandale ISD has helped in shaping my future and guiding me on a pathway to success. I'd be remiss not to think of all the great teachers, coaches, support staff, etc., from throughout my academic career who have contributed to my own success. I would argue that many of us here, regardless of where we come from, have their own stories that they can share on how people at our campuses or schools have influenced, supported, encouraged, and inspired them to reach for their own goals. That is another layer that makes our district distinct and quantifies a true measure of the Harlandale legacy. It is my own humble opinion that this team of 8 is determined and dedicated to preserving this legacy for our students now and in the future. Our students deserve a well-rounded educational experience rooted in results. The potential merging of resources will allow us to invest in people and programs that can enhance the opportunities that we can provide for our students. In turn, that investment in our students will trickle down where they can excel and eventually contribute to our Harlandale community as a whole. This looming decision is certainly a challenge for our district, but we are resolute, tactful, resilient, and capable of meeting the needs of our students. Harlandale community, thank you for entrusting in us in our team of 8. Significant decisions such as repurposing schools, and ultimately no, we will base our decisions and next steps solely on what is best for our kids. Again, long live Harlandale ISD. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Mr. Mancha?
Thank you, Madam Chair. He stole my notes. Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Very, very well job.
Oh, Mr. Mancha, I apologize.
Took some notes.
Yes, I apologize, Mr. Mancha. Ms. Mariana will translate and then we will go hear you, Mr. Mancha.
Okay. Harlandale ISD representa muchas cosas para un equipo de 8. Para mí significa, y basado en mi experiencia como alumno y como maestro, administrador y miembro de la mesa directiva. Yo valoro las experiencias que he tenido aquí como producto de Harlandale y estoy orgulloso de ser parte de esta comunidad. Esta comunidad me ha dado la pasión para seguir luchando por la igualdad, oportunidades y los logros de nuestros estudiantes. La equidad en proveer la mejor educación y la mejor calidad de educación y todos los recursos para nuestros estudiantes. La oportunidad de darle a nuestros alumnos programas de estudio que los hagan y los preparan para la universidad, para sus trabajos y para estar listos para la militar. Logros en sus futuros que sabemos que los van a hacer diversos y competitivos en el mercado global. Como equipo de 8 y como miembro de la comunidad, nuestro enfoque y las decisiones deberían de ser siempre basadas en los logros y el éxito de nuestros alumnos. Es una gran responsabilidad y viene con muchas conversaciones difíciles y honestas, pero siempre tenemos que hacerlo mejor para poder ofrecer la mejor educación que merecen nuestros alumnos. Como una comunidad colectiva, tenemos la tarea de tomar decisiones difíciles durante todos los días en nuestras vidas profesionales y personales, y sobre todo en esta situación en consolidar escuelas. No es culpa de la comunidad de Harlandale. Esta nueva normal de educación ha influido en las necesidades de la comunidad y ha alterado la realidad de los distritos escolares que tenemos que continuar impactando. Este equipo de 8 ha hecho el mejor esfuerzo de tratar de arreglar estos problemas y hacemos todo lo posible para que esta comunidad salga adelante a pesar de estas dificultades. Reflexionando personalmente en todas las grandes cosas del distrito escolar de Harlandale y cómo me han ayudado a mí, a mi futuro, y cómo me han guiado para mi desarrollo profesional, estaría mal si no le doy las gracias a los maestros, a los educadores, al staff de apoyo, a los entrenadores, a todos los que me han apoyado durante mi carrera académica y los que han contribuido a mi éxito. También pelearía en decir que esas personas no han tenido un impacto en mi vida y que estas personas también, cada una de ellas, comparten sus historias y las comparten e influencian a todas las personas que trabajan en las escuelas y en los campuses. Y también han inspirado a otras personas para que ellos también lleguen a sus metas. Esto nada más es una manera de ver cómo el distrito escolar de Harlandale hace que su legado siga sobresaliendo. Es mi humilde opinión que este equipo de 8 está determinado y dedicado a preservar el legado de nuestros estudiantes aquí y en el futuro. Nuestros estudiantes merecen la mejor educación y la mejor experiencia educativa basada en resultados. El potencial de unir los recursos nos podrá ayudar a invertir en programas y en personas que puedan mejorar estas oportunidades para nuestros estudiantes. Y sabemos que al invertir en esto, nuestros niños y nuestros alumnos tendrán un resultado mucho mejor, no nada más para ellos, pero también para contribuir a la comunidad de Harlandale. Sabemos que esta es una decisión difícil y es un reto para el distrito escolar, pero somos resilientes y sabemos de lo que somos capaces siempre y cuando tengamos en mente el beneficio de nuestros alumnos. Harlandale, comunidad de Harlandale, les quiero agradecer por darnos el apoyo a este equipo de 8 y por tomar en cuenta esta decisión que sabemos que no es fácil y que tomaremos la mejor decisión basada únicamente en lo mejor para nuestros alumnos.
Thank you, Ms. Mariana. Mr. Mancha?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Juan Mancha, and I'm also a son of a migrant worker. My parents came over here from Mexico, and I was the first son born in the United States. And my mom was always so proud of that. She'd always remind me, you're the first one in the family that's going to be able to vote to be somebody in the United States, mijo. And I never understood what she meant. So when I went to school, I went to Adams Elementary School. I wasn't welcomed with open arms. I was told I was a wetback. I didn't belong here. But I grew up, I learned, I studied. I made myself work harder than everybody else in my own way. I would get in trouble a lot, only because I refused to be told what to do. In high school, I finally had a teacher that opened up my eyes. He told me, Mr. Mancha, you can be anybody you want to be. The only one that's stopping you is you. And he was right. The only person stopping me was me. It wasn't the school that was making me better. It wasn't Adams Elementary School that made me a good person. It wasn't Harlandale Middle School that made me a good person. It wasn't Harlandale High School that made me a good person. It was me. Every child that we have that's go to these schools, the teacher, you are the person that makes them who he's going to be. We are the people that are going to make them who they're going to be. Not the campus, not that building. It's the connection that you're going to make with that child. That was the connection that I got from him. And he taught me something that made me work hard. I didn't leave the Harlandale area. I decided to stay here. And I send my daughters to the same school that treated me bad. And I made sure that I went to every meeting. I participated in every meeting. I have been part of the board, not as a board member, but come to every board meeting. So when you say transparency, come to the meetings. You'll see transparency. If you show up to the meetings, you're going to get it. But when you don't come to the meeting until something hurts, until something bothers you, that's when you don't know what's going on. I have only missed 5 board meetings since my daughter was 4 years old. She's 30 years old now. That's 26 years. I have been to every single board meeting except for 5. Not as a board member all the time, only the last 10 years. But I made it a point that I was going to make a difference, not only for my child. Can I get an extra minute?
Yes, sir, you can.
But for all of your children, because every one of your child is my child. I expect to see your child become just like my children. My daughter, my oldest daughter, is a professor of nursing in North Carolina. My baby girl is 23 years old. She's going to graduate this May as a lawyer. Harlandale made that happen. Why? Because we're a family. Family does not point fingers at each other. Family does not turn their back on each other. Family does not tell, if you go to that school, it's not going to be as good as my school. Every school in Harlandale is a #1 school. There's no such thing as a school below any other school. We are family. Somos familia.
El señor Mancha habló sobre su experiencia, cómo llegó a este país. Habló sobre cómo su familia siempre le dijo que querían que él fuera la primera persona en votar en este país. Y desde entonces ha trabajado muy duro para poder ser un buen ejemplo para la comunidad. También dijo y habló sobre la experiencia de un maestro que le cambió la vida y que le dijo que él podía hacer lo que él quisiera hacer sin límites. Entonces habla de las escuelas y cómo las escuelas no son lo que hace a los estudiantes, sino uno y la persona son los que influyen para ayudar a estos alumnos a tener éxito. No es el edificio ni es la escuela, sino es la persona que hace al alumno. También habló sobre el regresar a la comunidad de Harlandale y apoyar a toda la comunidad, y desde entonces que ha sido parte de esta mesa directiva, no ha faltado a más de 5 juntas desde que su hija estaba pequeña, porque sabe lo importante que es estar aquí presente para toda la comunidad. Y quiere también hacer una diferencia no nada más para sus hijos, pero también para todos los niños del distrito escolar, porque considera que todos los niños del distrito escolar son sus hijos. También habló sobre Harlandale y cómo es una familia y que estamos aquí para apoyarnos, que las escuelas, no hay una escuela que sea la número 1, todas las escuelas trabajan juntas para crear el distrito escolar de Harlandale.
Thank you, Ms. Mariana. Anyone else would like to speak for my colleagues? Mr. Luna?
Yeah, my opening statement is, my name is Louis Luna. I'm a District 3 President, member, trustee here. As many of y'all know, I work here. Raise your hand if you know me personally. I know a lot of y'all. I taught many of your children. I didn't grow up here. There's a saying, I got here as fast as I could. That's not true. My dad's mom, I actually live in my dad's mom's Crystal Street, the same block, 900 block of Crystal. And I've been coming to this community, and I would tell my parents, my school parents, I said, I've been coming here since I was born, since I could remember. I remember there was no sidewalks. We come here and visit grandma and it was getting muddy. So why didn't we go there? Grandma's gonna get dirty, my feet. Then you get mad at me because I'm gonna get mud in this car. But I've been coming here since forever and ever since I've been alive. So this is the biggest decision that I've ever had to make as a board member. I put it up there in the top 20 of my lives. One of my life, been married twice. I've had one kid. I have a master's degree. So I have many decisions I've made. So I take this decision very seriously because it affects you more than really me, really affects you more than me. I live here, but I want the best for your children because your children were my students and your children are my neighbors and your children are my little mijos and mijas that go down the street. This sign says children first, but we need to elevate that this night to make it district first, make the district first. Because my dad was a Lanier Volk and we loved to go to Chili Bowl. And then when tech started having problems, they did away with Chili Bowl. So what would happen if we get taken over? We have to consolidate. Do you think they're gonna let us have the Frontier Bowl again? I don't think so. Governor Abbott does not care really what happens to us. I told my colleagues when I was a teacher, he's coming for your job. And now look what's happening. He came to Pika Pika last year to tell about his agenda, but giving the parents choice. Well, how many of y'all parents have kids that have been rejected by the charter schools? I know a lot of kids have come back from the charter schools, are now back in our schools. Like someone said earlier, we take just about everybody. We're like the Statue of Liberty of schools because we take almost everybody. So this is a big decision. The dilemmas here, I was in the parking lot at Luby's the other day. I'm waiting for my food. My wife's coming out and sure, here comes a familia of 7. The dad has a McCullum's High School football shirt. The mom, I don't know what she was wearing. She was probably wearing something about, she's having another minute, I'm sure. And she's wearing something about work, right? You know how women around here, they have dental hygiene jobs, assistants and CNAs and all. The mamas work so hard around here. And the women work so hard. My mom was a cafeteria worker for 20 years. So I know the cafeterias, they work their buns off, literally, literally. But the dad has a McCullum, the teenager boy has a Trojan jersey on, and two of the little kids have Idea shirts, those blue shirts that we see everywhere in the South Side and everywhere else. That is the dilemma. We cannot force you to come to our schools. What I tell Mr. Soto here to my right, we gotta be better, sir. We gotta be out there. We gotta promote ourselves. You gotta promote, you people need to promote us on Twitter, wherever it takes to be proud to be from here. All of them say, oh, we're South Side, South Side. I say, South Side, con ganas. O sea, mi abuela con ganas, South Side. Because we're proud to be here. We're proud to be from, and if we don't do nothing,
Mr. Luna, you
they're
need more
gonna,
time?
yes, please. give me more
Yes,
time.
you can, sir.
If we don't do nothing, something will be done to us. The decision is ours right now. And my conservative senator to the right, who represents TA, the commissioner of Texas. And we are doing our best. And she has got after us a few times, yes, and she's put her foot down. But we need to do what we can do. We need to control what we can control. Because if our destiny is to be Harlandale and have the Frontier Bowl, we need to work together. We need to stay together as much as possible. And I'm not saying 100% of y'all, because I know people are people. People are people. My mom said, why did all this start? Why did all this happen? I go, it's because different people might be people in power. And I don't really get a lot to translate, Mariana, but we're really here for the kids. We're for the community. We're here to keep us going. That's my first part.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Luna. Ms. Mariana?
Sure. El señor Luna habló sobre su experiencia también aquí en el Distrito Escolar de Harlandale. Él fue maestro del distrito y conoce a muchas personas de la comunidad. Y dice que desde que tiene memoria, recuerda estar aquí en el distrito de Harlandale. De hecho, inclusive desde antes que existieran las banquetas, él estaba aquí y sabe que esta es una de las decisiones más grandes que ha tenido que tomar en su vida, porque sabe que es una decisión que afecta no nada más a los niños, sino a toda la comunidad de Harlandale. Y quiere hacer lo mejor para el distrito escolar. Sabe que la decisión que se va a tomar el día de hoy tiene que ser vista pensando en lo mejor para el distrito escolar y para poder preservar el legado del distrito escolar. También habló un poco de cómo el gobierno no tiene los mejores intereses del distrito escolar en mente y cómo hay muchos alumnos que se han ido a otras escuelas como IDEA y Charter. Contó una historia de una familia que vio en donde los alumnos, los niños mayores tenían camisetas del distrito escolar, sin embargo los chiquitos tenían camisetas de la escuela IDEA. Y dice que habla sobre el dilema y el problema que es esto ahora, competir contra estas escuelas. Sin embargo, la diferencia es que esas escuelas no aceptan a cualquiera y nosotros aquí en Harlandale sí aceptamos a todo mundo. Entonces es importante tomar la mejor decisión y para él el distrito escolar es sumamente importante y quiere que la comunidad sepa que la decisión que se va a tomar esta noche es una decisión que han estado trabajando juntos como mesa directiva para hacer lo mejor para el distrito y que se está tomando con el mejor interés y no nada más eso, sino para el crecimiento del distrito escolar.
Thank you, Ms. Mariana. Anybody else? Ms.
Madam
Limon?
Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Greetings to all. Today is not your typical school special call board meeting. Instead, it's the day we make a difficult choice. I attended town hall meetings, board meetings, where our parents and teachers were heard. Voting on this agenda item is not as simple for me. I adore my neighborhood and my community, but we must maintain Harlandale ISD proud tradition and continue our legacy with our great students, teachers, and staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Limon. Ms. Mariana?
La señora Limón habló de lo difícil que es esta decisión. Ella habla sobre haber atendido a todas las juntas de la comunidad y las juntas de la mesa directiva y sabe que esta es una decisión extremadamente difícil porque a ella le interesa mucho la comunidad. pero sabe que es importante mantener la tradición y el legado del distrito escolar y es por eso que hoy se tiene que tomar una decisión.
Thank you, Ms. Mariana. Anybody else? Mr. Please.
Yes, I'd like to make a statement. I am a graduate of McCollum High School, as is my husband. My entire family, brothers and sisters, are all McCollum graduates. My husband's family, a majority of them are McCollum graduates. Our kids are McCollum graduates. The decision we make today is a very difficult one. Repurposing schools is never a topic I wanted to see on the agenda. Whatever the decision, it will have long-term effects. Closing a school affects parents, neighborhoods, communities, district personnel, and most importantly, our students. In short, it affects not only district operations, but also affects so many lives. I feel like there is no good outcome today. Repurposing schools today or next year is still coming. I'm on the school board today, but I might not be a part of that equation next year. A decision not to repurpose a school will have long-term effects. Let me state right here and now, bond monies cannot be used to fix declining student enrollments or give raises to teacher or hourly employees, or be part of the everyday expenses used to run our beloved school district. Declining student enrollment is not a false statement. No one disputes the fact that an overall decline in the Harlandale Independent School District has happened over the course of the last few years and is projected to decline over the course of the next decade. What can we do? Pre-COVID, March 2020, 95% is what we saw in ADA in elementary schools. We're not even close to that anymore. Do we stick our heads in the sand and ignore the financial disaster that awaits inaction? What is the best outcome for our students? For years, schools have been closing in neighborhoods where many Hispanic families live, and these closures have set off battles, undermined neighborhood stabilities, and set parents on a desperate search for another school to call home. We know that students' health and academic achievement are affected. These schools that are repurposed and enrollment combined into one campus thanks to declining enrollment and sometimes poor academic performance. Families are asking, why is this happening? Where is my child going to get education, their education? What can I do? What can we do? I challenge all of you to help get back our students. I know I want Harlandale ISD community set. Rest assured that Harlandale is where we want your child to get their education. We want to provide a good, solid education, student meals, and other resources that might not otherwise be available. Yes, I know. I have another minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I know that uncertainty weighs heavily on a parent's mind, but it also affects students. How will students' reading and math levels be affected? Harlandale ISD must rededicate itself to strengthening our academics, basic reading and math skills, bridging the gap between enrollment and attendance to ensure financial stability. We need truancy court back. We need the daily calling, finding out why a student is not in attendance if a call from a parent or guardian has not been made to the school. We need to enhance our recruitment and outreach programs. We need your help. We need social media. We need phone blasts to students who are no longer enrolled at Harlandale ISD, providing information on new CTE programs and academic opportunities. Concerted block walking groups to targeted areas, enhanced building safety and security, enrichment opportunities like new CTE and IT programs. Can I have one more minute?
Yes, ma'am.
Parents, I don't want to close schools. I don't want to see my beloved Harlandale ISD turned over to a TEA agency that has as its head a person who has been appointed by Texas Governor Abbott. Governor Abbott has publicly stated that his highest priority is to see the demise of the public school system by voicing his strongest support for a school voucher program, allowing for students' private education to be paid not out of the pockets of parents, but by state funds. No transparency nor accountability on how state funds could or would be spent at a private entity. Private and charter schools aren't held to the same standard as public schools. Private schools aren't required to serve all students in their boundaries. They aren't required to service those with special needs. They aren't required to have certified teachers in the classroom ever. We need funding at enrollment levels, not ADA. We need this base student allotment to be raised by this year's legislature, and we need state funding for our police department. Thank you.
Ms. Mariana.
La señora Ortiz habló sobre, ella es una graduada de la preparatoria McCollum y ella y toda su familia, incluyendo su esposo y sus hijos, fueron parte de la preparatoria McCollum. Sabe que esta no es una decisión fácil y es algo que no se debe tomar a la ligera. Es una decisión que afecta completamente a todos y no hay ningún resultado bueno después de tomar esta decisión. Consolidar ahora las escuelas o en el futuro es algo que tiene que pasar sí o sí. El no consolidar puede tener un efecto negativo en la comunidad y es algo que tenemos que tener en cuenta. Otra cosa que quiere recalcar es que el dinero del bono no se puede utilizar para pagar sueldos ni es algo que se puede utilizar para ayudar con el déficit que existe. Las inscripciones bajas del distrito escolar no son ningún secreto. Y es importante saber que todos tenemos que hacer algo al respecto. ¿Qué se puede hacer? No se puede continuar ignorando lo que está pasando y el desastre financiero que se viene. Es importante que nos unamos para poder ayudar con las inscripciones. Hay muchos retos, pero juntos podemos hacer que estos retos cambien para poder reclutar a más de nuestros alumnos. Queremos tener los mejores recursos para la educación y para los maestros. Y también es una incertidumbre que afecta a todos, no nada más a los alumnos y a los maestros, sino a toda la comunidad del distrito escolar. Otra cosa importante que quiere recalcar es que el gobierno le está dando prioridad a las escuelas privadas y cómo pagar esas escuelas privadas. Sin embargo, las escuelas privadas no ofrecen los mismos recursos que ofrece una escuela pública. Es importante saber que las escuelas privadas no exigen los mismos requisitos que exigen las escuelas públicas y ahí es en donde está el reto. Sin embargo, sabemos y ella quiere que todos sepan que quieren que continúen los alumnos creciendo y aprendiendo aquí en el distrito escolar de Harlem.
Thank you, Ms. Mariana. Anybody else?
Madam
Mrs.
Chair,
Carrillo? Yes, ma'am.
it's going to be very short. I just want to let everyone know that this is not an easy decision for any of us. It has been very difficult. It has been very hard. Absolutely, it's affecting every single one of us in our district. But in order for us to continue to have a district, this is inevitable. I have listened to every single one of my colleagues, and they have put those words, cannot have put them more perfect than what we're going through. In order for us to continue to have equity, opportunity, and success, this is something that we need to go forward with. And we would really appreciate your support in regards to this. I know this is hard. This is not easy for any of us, but we do want Harlandale to continue to be Harlandale. Did not graduate from Harlandale, but I do have my babies that graduated and continue to graduate, and I have my grandbabies here. So absolutely, this is not by all means an easy decision for any one of us. And thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Mrs. Carrillo. Ms. Mariana?
Sí, la señora Carrillo quiere que todos sepan que esta no es una decisión fácil, que ha sido una decisión extremadamente difícil, sobre todo porque afecta a toda la comunidad. Y es algo que si queremos continuar teniendo el distrito de Harlandale, es algo que es inevitable para poder seguir proveyendo equidad, oportunidad y éxito para todos los alumnos. Así que le pide a la comunidad que los apoyen, sabiendo que esta es una decisión muy difícil. Y aunque ella dice que no se graduó de este distrito escolar, sus hijos están aquí, sus nietos aquí y quiere que continúe el distrito escolar de Harlem.
Thank you, Ms. Mariana. Sorry, that was just my mistake. Has everybody had a chance to speak? I'm gonna have my moment to say what it's already been said. Let me begin by saying that I have been overwhelmed in the last few weeks at our meetings and our town halls to see such great attendance, engagement, and discussion from our community. Your advocacy for our students, our teachers, our campuses is one to be admired, and it certainly has not gone unnoticed in my eyes. I am a true believer that change in any situation, whether it's our personal lives, our careers, in this case, our district, is difficult. Not knowing 100%, without a doubt, absolutely for a fact, that changes that we make, decisions that we make will not have consequences. Are they the best in everyone's interest? No one can say for sure. You know, you may have heard me in the past describe Harlandale as unique, and we certainly are. There is no other district, in my opinion, that is a family first and then a school district. Our zip code does not define us. It certainly does not define our children. We belong to the Harlandale ISD family, and that in no way ever sets us back. It is because all of us, community members, parents, students, teachers, staff, it is because we are Harlandale ISD family that we belong to a tradition of deep roots and long and memorable traditions that we practice to this day. Being part of the Harlandale family means we are resilient, we have faith, and we are strong in advocating for what we feel we need to. If you know me before, long before I was ever a board member, I was a very strong, loud, and persistent voice in our community. I consider myself still being loud, even more persistent, and at times even stronger now that I am a board member. I believe way before, may I have another minute? Yes, I believe way before I ever had the role to you all. Before I had the role of trustee, and I continue to do it now, every single child in our district, every single student is worthy of all the successes this world has to offer. I say that once, twice, a million times. Our students, your children, are worthy and certainly deserving of an education that will lead them to success, innovation, and self-worth. I understand the challenges in this district, and I understand they are not ones that we want to face. They are not ones that we should be facing, but some things are out of our control. I understand that the world is evolving around us more quickly than we even want to admit. I understand more so that there are schools that come into our family, I need another minute, and our community that are threatening and rightfully taking away from your children. And that is the funding for their public education. It is beyond my acceptance. Over everything I have said, meeting after meeting, work session after work session, community event after community event, it is beyond my acceptance that we have children in classrooms, but not a certified teacher in them. To me, that is a huge disservice to those children that assume we are doing the best for them day in and day out. And though I love our substitute teachers and that they have stepped up to what we cannot provide right now, I will not take that opportunity to use it to tell a child, this is as good as it gets for us. Your education is only as good as what we can offer. And that is a substitute teacher day after day, week after week, month after month, and sometimes more times than I want to admit, years after year. I have to believe in the data-driven information that was presented. I have to believe, trust, and accept the importance of engaging in a process that will keep our teachers and staff employed. I trust that as a family that we say we are in Harlandale, that campuses will open their doors and welcome those that will now make those campuses their new homes. I have listened carefully to every single comment, complaint, idea, suggestion, message, and email. Not for 1 second do I want you to assume that I have not carried the responsibility of tonight with me every single day for months, not weeks of our town hall, not weeks of our work sessions or meetings, but since I became even more involved with our district by being the voice of our community, one of the voices of our community. There are those that believe that we will get judged by our decisions and actions. If you're going to judge me tonight on my decision and on my action, and maybe of those that I will have to make until you no longer want me to be your voice in this community, judge me by saying that I am the one that would not allow a child to sit in a classroom wondering if a certified teacher was ever going to come in through that door. Judge me by saying I am the one that chose to keep the teachers and our staff employed so that their families can count on their livelihood. Judge me by saying I'm the one that tried to bring enrichment and amazing opportunities to the students here at Harlandale ISD. Judge me by wanting not to be that one person that when I speak the name Harlandale ISD, it is not because I'm dusting off a yearbook, flipping through the pages, going down memory lane, and trying to explain to someone in years to come who we are, what was our family about, and where we are now. I want the privilege that we feel and the pride that we feel of saying, I am from Harlandale ISD, to not be a story I tell in the future. I will do what I need to do, kicking and screaming, and I may be the only one kicking and screaming, to give our children each and every single one of our kids the education that they deserve, that is expected, regardless of their zip code. If we take our students further than they can imagine, further than they can assume they will achieve, I know each of those students will never look back and wonder, did my Harlandale ISD family do everything in their power for my education? Did they do everything they said they were going to do so that I could be successful? They'll never have to wonder, because they'll know by the success in themselves, by the success of their community, they will know we did everything to give them that privileged education we are all born to receive. Whatever the outcome of tonight's meeting, I challenge everyone here tonight to continue the momentum, continue the advocacy, continue with wanting more. But I want you to embrace whatever the outcome is, you embrace it with optimism and the challenge of the greatness that will come with those outcomes. Every single one of our students will be successful. But as a family, if we do not come together, that family will never be strong enough to prove not only to ourselves, but to neighboring districts, to our city and our county, that this is only the beginning of what Harlandale ISD students are capable of. From the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate everyone who has taken the time to be here in person, or to watch the live feed, or to even watch the post recording of all these town halls and meetings. And from the bottom of my heart, I hope to see you as engaged past this decision and always in our meetings, our work sessions, and our community. And I thank my colleagues and I thank my community for allowing me to say the words that I felt needed to be said tonight.
La señora Cavazos quiere empezar en decir que esto ha sido una decisión muy difícil para ella y que no se ha tomado para nada a la ligera todo lo que ha sucedido en las últimas juntas, y que también es admirable ver a toda la comunidad juntarse y unirse para hacer el bien y lo mejor para los alumnos. El cambio para todos es algo difícil, sobre todo cuando son cambios tan difíciles como los que estamos enfrentando ahorita. Y no hay certeza que estos cambios no tengan consecuencias. Nadie sabe qué es lo que va a pasar. Pero ella está segura de algo, y eso es que Harlandale es un distrito escolar único. Y que es un distrito escolar único porque es el primer distrito y el único distrito que la familia es la prioridad y es lo primero, y después viene el distrito. El código postal no importa, y es importante defender el legado que tiene aquí Harlandale. Es importante que también que sepan que Harlandale es una familia y que todos pertenecemos a esa familia. I'm trying to read my handwriting, I'm sorry. es importante saber que las decisiones que se tomarán el día de hoy no son fáciles y que ella, inclusive antes de ser parte de la mesa directiva, siempre ha tenido una voz fuerte y una voz persistente, y eso no va a cambiar. Inclusive eso ha incrementado a partir de que le han permitido ser parte y la voz del distrito escolar. Quiere que todos los niños de este distrito escolar tengan las mismas oportunidades o más que otros niños, una vez más, sin importar el código postal. Pero algo que no se puede permitir y que no está dispuesta a aceptar es que tengamos niños en los salones de clases que no tienen maestros certificados. Eso no es justo para los niños y es importante que les podamos dar la oportunidad de que tengan clases con sus maestros certificados. La educación, y ella no quiere decir que los niños digan que la educación es tan buena hasta lo que pueden ofrecer. Se rehúsa a ofrecer únicamente lo que se puede, sino ir más allá de lo que se puede y quieren ofrecer. También cree firmemente en toda la información que se presentó en las juntas y en lo importante que es el proceso de mantener a todos los empleados en el distrito escolar y de poderle dar una oportunidad a estas personas y a estas familias para que también ellos puedan seguir proveyendo para sus familias. Quiere que sepan que esta responsabilidad y este cargo no se lo ha tomado a la ligera y que se ha llevado con ella todas sus preocupaciones, todas sus dudas, todos sus comentarios después de hablar con ustedes en las juntas y que también ha escuchado y leído todos los comentarios que se han hecho después de estas reuniones. También les pide a la comunidad que si la van a juzgar el día de hoy por sus decisiones, que la juzguen por ser la persona que no permitió que un niño estuviera enfrente de una maestra no certificada adentro del salón de clases. También quiere que la juzguen por ser la persona que hizo absolutamente todo por traer las mejores oportunidades de crecimiento para el distrito escolar y para los alumnos en él. También quiere que la juzguen por ser la persona que intentó hacer absolutamente todo para continuar el legado de Harlandale y para continuar el orgullo de este distrito escolar. Dice que no quiere que en el futuro esté sacando su anuario de Harlandale y que alguien le pregunte que qué fue Harlandale, que quiere continuar el legado de este distrito y quiere que este distrito siga presente por muchísimos años más. Sin importar la decisión que se tome el día de hoy, el reto es que continúen queriendo hacer más y aceptando más retos con optimismo para la comunidad de Harlandale. Aceptar los retos que vienen y siempre tener en mente que el propósito y la meta final es el éxito de los alumnos. Si no trabajamos juntos como familia, no podremos ser exitosos. Entonces les pide que continúen acudiendo a las juntas de la mesa directiva, a las juntas de la comunidad, para que este legado y esta lucha por el mejor y el bienestar de los alumnos continúe. También le quiere agradecer a sus colegas, a todo el distrito escolar y sobre todo a la comunidad por permitirles estar aquí y por poder tomar esta decisión el día de hoy.
Thank you, Ms. Mariana.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Ortiz.
I'd like to move to a subsequent motion to Mr. Moreno's,
Yes, ma'am.
specific to option B that has repurposing Columbia Heights, Morrill Elementary School, Rayburn Elementary School, and Carabel Elementary School. I move that Carabel be moved to an SB 1882 partnership with Texas A&M San Antonio or whoever the school district designates. Thank you.
Is there a second on Ms. Ortiz's motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Limon.
I would like to make a substitute motion on regarding the district strategic.
Give me
facility.
1 second, Ms. Limon. So
So
there
the-
was no second on
Right,
Ms.
no second.
Ortiz's motion, so that motion is void?
Yes, it's done.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Limon.
So I would like to make substitute motion regarding the district strategic facilities and programming planning regarding repurpose of schools and district facilities. For consideration I would love to pick C, but today I'm picking option A.
I will second your motion of option A. Any discussion? Or can I move forward with the vote? If I can move forward with the vote? Yes, Mr.
Madam
Lewin.
Chair, point of clarification, that means we're voting now for option A, correct? It'll
Yes, on the
supersede-
subsequent motion that Ms. Limon has put on the table. She has motioned for option A. I second it. The motion, if that motion fails, then we move to the original motion from Mr. Moreno. We are going to use, I'm going to open the vote. We're going to use our electronic devices. And after the vote has closed, I will communicate out loud, although it's going to be on the screen, the vote. Is there any discussion before we close the vote? The vote is open, correct?
At this time, not.
For yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Ms. Ortiz, thank you. This is a vote on Ms. Limon's motion for option A, which I second.
Madam Chair,
Give me 1 second, Ms. Limon.
go ahead.
The vote is now open.
Okay, yes, Ms. Limon.
It's not, today wasn't easy to hear everybody tonight. Everybody could say, my kids came from Rayburn, Hondo Middle and Hondo High School. I was very active when my kids went to pre-K and on. I was a PTA parent, band parent, substitute teacher for a long time in the district. This is hard for me to do today, as much as I don't want any schools to be closed. But the decision that we have to make today is very difficult. And I hope you accept what we say today and what we vote today, because something that we need to do. Otherwise, we won't have any Frontier Bowl we could see all the alumni that come in when we see everybody at the football field. We see all the great activities that our kids have accomplished through our district. We need to continue that legacy. And the only way to do it is to make sure that we could continue making sure that our teachers and our students and our staff have the best education. A teacher, not a substitute teacher, as much as I love substitutes, but we have to have a teacher in that class. That's why I'm deciding, that's my decision will be when I vote tonight. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Limon. Anybody else? Okay. The voting is open. We can begin to vote. And this is just one more time for clarification. We are voting on Ms. Limon's motion, option A. I second that motion, and that is what we're voting on right now. If this motion fails, then we will go back to the original motion that Mr. Moreno put on the table and Mr. Mancha seconded. So the voting is open. Has everybody voted? Okay. It's not highlighted. How do we know everybody's voted?
I can start a new one. The blue indicates that a vote has been registered.
What color, I'm sorry?
It's the light blue.
The
Would you
light
like for me to restart the vote?
Yes, please. Yes, because usually at the last time it was evident who had voted and who hasn't, who had not. Yeah. Once the vote closes, it'll reset and we can do it again, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
At this
Okay,
time,
so now-
the voting is now open.
Okay, so now you see the difference between the dark background and the light background. So we are going to vote right now. Everybody's voted? Okay, we're going to close. Okay, so it is total of 7 votes, 3 yes, 4 no. Norma Cavazos voted yes. Elizabeth Limon voted yes. Elaine Anaya Ortiz voted yes. Christine Carrillo voted no. Louis Luna voted no. Juan Mancha voted no. Ricardo Moreno voted no. So the subsequent motion for option A, brought by Ms. Limon, seconded by me, fails. We move forward with the original motion that Mr. Moreno put on the table and Mr. Mancha second. Our digital devices will be reset. Yes, Mr. Luna, give me 1 second. I just want to make sure that. Okay, give me 1 second. Don't open the vote yet. Yes, Mr. Luna.
We'll discuss something for my vote.
Yes.
In closing, I just want to say a few more words, the way I'm going to vote. Recently, y'all know Mr. Red McCombs passed away. It was in his obituaries that he was a very, wealthy man, powerful man. And he believed that in the status quo, there shouldn't be really a status quo. There should be you should be moving forward or moving back. And some of you teachers will know that our theme this year for January is School Board Appreciation Month, that we got hundreds of cards for, and I've done it myself, is the theme is what? Together, moving forward. And that's what I want to project. So as we're leaving this building, no matter what the vote is, you look to your left inside the office of the STEM, you'll see the cap and gown of our graduates here at STEM High School. And that is our ultimate goal, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That's our ultimate goal. And so I am asking, almost begging, pleading that you work with us, whatever the decision is, because I had to move a lot of times myself. And I know it's a lot of work to move. And I really appreciate the help I would get from fellow staff, fellow members. And so use your action, your passion to keep us moving forward and to keep this legacy continuing. We come from the San Jose missions. People don't believe that we have an Indian as a mascot. I go to training statewide and they ask, are y'all still the Harlendale Indians? The national people have you got rid of that yet? He says, I say no. And the reason is because we have descendants from the missions. And what did the US government call them? Indians. So until the US government changes what they call them and changes those Western movies that I like to watch sometimes and they call them Indians, then we're gonna be Harlendale Indians. And then we're gonna be McCollum Cowboys. But we need your help. We need your help to continue. We need your ganas. We need your passion to move this forward. I'm almost 6 decades old. I'm here for y'all. I'm here for the kids. I should be on the beach. I should be at the lake. I could. But I'm a retired teacher, so y'all know how much money I'm getting from TRS. And it ain't that much. So I just, whatever decision is that you help us move forward. We are having great days. My co-partner, Mr. Rocha, got an award. He got $1,000, I think, scholarship grant or something from Texas A&M. Amazing. He does amazing work with his students. Amazing things happen here in Harlandale. And we need your support. We need your guidance. We need your input to keep us going. It has been tremendous. That's the biggest Our Lady of the Angels group I've ever seen in 3 years. And I'm part of that group. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And let's move forward together. Familia. Que viva Harlandale. Say it. Que viva Harlandale. Que viva Harlandale. Because I grew up when they would say, que viva Kelly Field. And Kelly Field is gone. Right? My tios used to work there. My compadres used to work there. So que viva Harlandale. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Luna. So we are voting on Mr. Moreno's original motion. Option B, Mr. Mancha second that motion. Everybody had a chance to speak and the vote is now open. Everybody has had a chance to vote. We're going to close the vote. Motion for option B, there's total of 7 votes. Yes, 4, no, 3. Norma Cavazos voted no. Elizabeth Limon voted no. Elena Anaya Ortiz voted no. Christine Carrillo voted yes. Louis Luna voted yes. Juan Mancha voted yes. Ricardo Moreno voted yes. So motion for option B passes.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Ortiz.
I'd like I know this is very hard for all of my colleagues to make this, but folks, really, please, maybe at the next board meeting, please let us consider we're already talking about SB 1882 coming to the district and partnering with for a middle school. Please consider an elementary school partnership. Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 4, adjourn tonight's meeting. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Carrillo.
I move to adjourn.
I will second your motion. No further discussion, so I can move forward with the vote. And we are using our digital devices still, people. Yes, because it's a vote. Is the vote open?
The vote is
So
now
this is
open.
for agenda item 4 to adjourn tonight's meeting. Everybody has voted. We are closing the vote. Total votes yes. Total votes 7 yes to adjourn tonight's meeting. It is 8:28. Thank you so much for joining us. Tonight's meeting is adjourned.